Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend is the city I live in, city of angels. Lonely as I am, together we cry. I drive on her street, she's my companion. I walk through the hills cause she knows who I am. She sees my good deeds and she kisses me when I never worry, now that is a lie. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Will take me to the place I love, take me all the way. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Will take me to the place I love, take me all the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's hard to believe there's nobody out there. It's hard to believe that I'm all alone. At least I have heard of the city, she loves me. Lonely as I am, together we cry. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Will take me to the place I love, take me all the way. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day, but take me to the place I love, take me all the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh no, 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 yeah, yeah. Love me, no, no, yeah, yeah. Yes, hello. Warm greetings, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from right now, and welcome to JhermiNATION PV, our hub for health, arts, and business. And I'm your host, Jeremy, here in London. And I take it that you are all doing well and keeping safe wherever you are right now. And please write on the comment box where you're watching from. Any questions, any suggestions, or violent reactions. And of course, thumbs up and hearts will be very much appreciated. So don't be shy, give it a try. Hit those buttons. Block. Oh, something's just happened there. This video contains blah 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 blah. Now this is the difficulty with this one. Okay, so just before we proceed or we carry on, I always do this during my Facebook live streaming. I would like to invite everyone to pause for a minute of silence. Let us all remember all those people who died of COVID-19, those who are fighting for their lives, those who are infected of COVID-19, and of course, all those people who lost their job during this pandemic and lockdown. So let's pause for a minute of silence. We are the keeper of light, so others will see it. So there you go. Actually, I just received a notification from Facebook there because I I was singing. It's the music that I played and sang. Anyway, so we have a very special guest for tonight. And of course, before I carry on, I would like to greet Miguel Imelda Diaz. Thank you for watching, Lady Imelda. I'm also watching your Facebook stream. I enjoy it. Richelle Liboan Attender. Thank you for watching. Mimi Mili. Thank you for watching. Anthony Tabiso Magotsi. Well done, amazing. Thank you. From Southampton. Thank you, thank you. Hello to all of you who are watching there from Southampton. So my very special guest is I have met this fine gentleman during the Pinoy Power Conference. And he is an entrepreneur. He is a speaker. He is also an international hemp consultant. He's the co-founder and CEO of this company called AMBERSTALK, which is more of a sustainable health products. And I believe he just started another company, which is called the VITASPHERE, which is, he will be able to tell us later on. So, are you ready for my guest for tonight? Yes, he is a prince. So, let's all welcome. Let's all welcome. Let's all welcome. Oop, I think we are. Let us add Kirck. There you go. So, are you ready for our prince? Let's invite again. Approve. Add. No answer from live video guests. So he's got this company called the VITASPHERE. Approve. No answer. Let's try again. Let's try again. No answer from the Hemp Prince, but he will come soon. Approve. No answer. Might be your internet connection, bro. No answer from the live guest. What's this one? Add bricks disabled. This video contains. Must be because they have disabled my. There you go. There you go. Connect. Hey!
There we go. There we go.
Hello, 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 hello.
Sorry, my bro. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries, man. This is live. This is live.
Yeah, no, I've been trying to get in, but for some reason it's not letting me in.
So,
Can you hear
ladies and
me okay
gentlemen,
though?
my special guest for today, the Hemp Prince, Kirck Allen. Can you greet our?
Thanks for having me, guys. Hello, 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 JhermiNATION. Hello.
Hello, hello,
Let me
hello.
adjust the camera here.
No
Yeah.
worries, no worries. Yeah. So, to be honest, bro, I am not familiar with our topic for today. I think that's the reason
Sure,
why
of
I
course.
invited you. So you can educate us. You can inform us more about your project or about what you're doing and about the industry that you're in. And I've only met Kirk once personally. He's got his bag, and I don't know what it's a magic bag.
I'll make a reveal a bit later. I'll make a
Exactly, exactly.
reveal. So it's
But
part of
before
it.
we
Yeah.
carry on, I always do this to my guests. This is just like
Yeah.
a quick fire questions.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
a little bit of fun, warm you up, and get to know you more a little bit. Yeah, is that all right? The first thing
Sounds
that
good.
comes into your
Sounds good.
mind. This is a quick fire questions. All right, ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, beer or wine?
Wine.
Okay, sleep or eat?
Eat.
Eat. Good. You're the first one who said eat. Actually, most people said eat. Weird or crazy?
Crazy.
Crazy. Night out or stay in?
Nights out.
Night out. Are you a mama's boy or papa's boy? I tag your mom here.
Oh, well, I would say mama's boy at this point.
Mama's boy.
Most people in the video right now will know that.
Uh, they were also tag your mom.
I know. She's
Mo-
sleeping at the moment because she's
I
in the
know, in the
Philippines.
Philippines. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Money or fame?
I would have to say probably money.
Money. Good, good, good. Good answer. Dream or career?
Career.
Career. Okay. What is your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure. My guilty pleasure is probably cooking.
Cooking. That's good.
Just cooking food, yeah.
That's good. That's
I
good.
love to find out what's coming in my mouth, basically.
Good,
Or
good, good, good.
the food that you put. But yeah, I love food. Gotta
Exactly,
love food.
exactly. What was the last thing that you Googled?
Last thing I Googled. Last thing I Googled was some legal terms, basically.
Okay.
Contracts. Just
Contract.
business all the time, yeah.
Great. Great. Apart from your face, which part of the body you most look in the mirror?
I would have to say my hair, because
Your
like I
hair.
haven't cut it like in months. So I'm having the Brad Pitt or sort of Tom Cruise sort of look without trying. Be like, oh my God, it's like bed hair most of the time.
It still looks
With
great,
my
bro. Me too. I haven't had a haircut, but it looks great on you, man.
thank you.
What is the lie? What is the lie that you recently told?
Lie recently told, um, I'm free.
Sorry.
I'm free.
Okay.
Well, I'm always busy, but like I say, I'm free right now, and it's only.
Yeah.
I don't know if you count it as a lie because it doesn't. It wasn't out of your control.
Yeah. 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 What would you tell your 12-year-old self?
um, take risks. I
Take
think
risk.
that would
Wow.
take risk. Yeah.
That's really good. That's really good. Now, you are the Hemp Prince, right? You are called the Hemp Prince for a reason. So tell us more about hemp.
Okay, sure. So I'll educate you a little bit more about it, but it starts with me coming back and how I got into it in the first place.
Mhm.
So, like the story goes, it's the same thing as any sort of startup journey. We, you know, I joined a university competition,
Mhm.
and I needed to come up with an idea to produce an alternative product for concrete and materials.
Mhm.
So it was a competition to basically create a solution for sustainable housing. So how do you make
Wow.
things cheaper and how do you make things more sustainable? Because the building industry is one of the most biggest pollutants when it comes to you know unsustainable uh, building. But yeah, so anyways, I came up with some ideas in a competition, and I had a partner in that competition. So in each university, you have about 4 or 5 groups, and then within that group, there's also, I think I think another 5 to 10 different universities. So
Mhm.
there's like 35 teams globally. So we were then paired up with students from I think Brazil, Italy, and in the UK, and we our parties form an basically come up with an idea to solve this problem and come and turn it into a business within 24 hours. So yeah, it was difficult. But anyways, during our conversations, one of my friends, my partner, told me, Kirk, have you ever heard of hemp before? I said, what's that? Like, is it
Mhm.
gonna get me high or something? He's like, I said, no, what is that? Well, he said it's the cousin of weed. I was like, okay, okay. So, and then he shows me a video on YouTube where you mix the limestone and hemp shibs, which is the body and the core of the plants. And when you mix that with water, you have a material very similar to concrete. That's why we call
Mhm.
it as hempcrete. And then we started doing research into it. Actually, it was like there was quoted at that time, although it's somehow inaccurate right now, but it's like 3 times stronger than concrete. four times
Wow.
stronger. It was
Mm-hmm.
like lighter as well. It was pest resistant. So if you have like insects coming through and all this whatever, it kind of scares them away.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have it's like fireproof, waterproof, and it was biodegradable as well. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine being able to build a house, right? And being able to, it also has amazing insulation. So if you build a house made from hemp, imagine being able to save power from your heating bill, because
Mm-hmm.
you just need one heater and it heats up the whole house because it
Mm-hmm.
contains heat well. And the best part about it is because of its ability, well, it has what's called CO2 absorption.
Wow.
So
Mm-hmm.
the CO2 from the air, it locks it within the walls of the house, and then forming it into a really good insulation. So imagine, like, basically you're cleaning up the air, but you're still living in the house. You're not doing
Mm-hmm.
much, but it's also then reducing your bills. And then the thing that really interests me as well was that if you break down that house and you can reuse the same materials to build another one, which
Wow.
is, and then to even further blow your mind away, imagine the same materials, you can use that as fertilizer. So
Wow.
that, imagine you can break down a house, you can use the material and you can use it to grow for food. So I was like, wow. So it's much more sustainable, although it takes a little bit longer to solidify. But over time, uh, there's a number of very well-known, what do you call this, palaces and
Mm-hmm.
statues, a few things that were made from hemp. So even in Egypt as well, there's some remnants of some statues. That's why they last a long time, because
Wow.
hemp fibers are one of the strongest materials on the planet. So that's how I got into the hemp thing, and I said, how do I get deeper into this? Like, what is this? Maybe I can turn it into a business. So I started looking into all the stuff that you can make from it, and I found out this was like in the winter 2016. Winter of 2016, I was in my final year of university, and I said, okay, I'm gonna start. Maybe I can do something here, and I, I started getting into it, and I got into the history of it, like all the way back in time. That it's like one of the oldest plants in the world. It's one of the first cultivated crops in the world. For food, for clothing, for paper, for plastic, for biofuel. And a number of other like crazy things. So, you know, uh, as I went through back in time, it was mostly about. I think the history of hemp was started, a couple of thousands of years ago, and up to that point, I got so interested in it that I kind of started skipping classes, you know, and I couldn't read because I was studying law and business at that time. I couldn't study I was just distracted. I was
Mm.
so off with the idea that I said, oh my gosh, it's like the biggest thing in the world. It's
Yeah.
not only good for the planet, but it's also better than anything else that we use today. So, there's a quote that's saying that hemp has almost 50,000 plus uses, probably more. So there's a lot
Wow.
that you can use with it. So it's just like everything you would ever need. But yeah, so looking into it, it's like a cousin of weed. Okay,
Wow.
so the best way I describe it is that just like an orange and a lemon. So imagine like a cannabis. A lot of my cannabis community will probably argue with me on this, but I'm just telling you how I try to educate people to make it easier for them to understand,
Yeah.
although they're from the same strain or whatever. So imagine like a citrus. When you say
Mhm.
citrus, you can think of maybe three different types, which is like the orange, lemons, and limes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Those three.
So
Yeah.
just like in the situation with like the hemp or the marijuana plant, so in scientific terms, although it is somehow again inaccurate, but this is how we used to define it.
Mhm.
There's three different types, which was sativa, indica, and ruderalis. So three different types with orange, lemons, and limes, right? So each one of them have different capabilities, uses, and obviously like chemical structures. So, for example, the marijuana plant grows like a bush.
Mhm.
Hemp grows like a tree.
Oh, okay.
So that's the first comparison. But most people take a look at the leaves as well. The sativa leaves are much thinner, and the marijuana leaves are a lot bigger. That's because they
Oh.
contain a lot more cannabinoids, which I'll get into that a bit later on when I go to deeper details. But
Mhm.
like literally, it was just to describe it. Imagine like an orange and a lemon. There you
Mhm.
have hemp and marijuana.
I
So it's
see.
hard to compare the two. So the thing that differentiates them at the moment mostly is the THC content.
Yeah.
THC stands for
Mhm.
tetrahydrocannabinol, which is just like you imagine like vitamin C or vitamin A, vitamin B, whatever. It's just a compound within the plants. So in marijuana, it's much higher in THC than in hemp. So in order to get high, you need about 5% THC, something like that, right? Just to get for like, you know, just to get high for
Psychoactive.
a couple of minutes. Psychoactive, as they
Yeah.
say. So hemp contains 0.3%. So next to nothing. Like, you can literally burn up a whole field if you wanted to, and
Mhm.
you won't get high. So everybody keeps asking me if you get high from hemp, and I say yes, you can.
Just say
So
yes.
yes, high in protein,
High
high in
protein.
omega 3, omega 6, but it won't get you high.
Wow. That's a very good answer.
So we get that a lot in the industry because obviously like people confuse it with the same thing. So it's like I tell them, look, if you think hemp and marijuana is the same, then do you think you can get an orange juice from a lemon?
This is you learn all how to answer all these questions as you go along with your experience on how to deal with people, and
Well,
obviously the more the 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 deeper you dig into it, the more you will learn about it, and the more you will be able to explain it to people. Because I myself, when you say hemp, what comes first into my mind is the marijuana,
yeah.
the weed. So it's a very it's very good explanation that you've given there, because you're international hemp consultant for a reason, right? That's why you were able to explain this to
Well,
us, and thank you for educating us about that one.
no, I mean the thing is for me, I believe that if you wanna, it's not about being an expert. It's being basically just being human. You know, if you know what you're talking about, you should be
Mhm.
able to explain it to a 12-year-old or a 10-year
Exactly.
old. Because if it's the I don't know if you know Richard Feynman. So he's one of these professors that a while back, I think it was,
Hmm.
his lectures on physics and a few other sciences, he dumbs it down to the point that it's understandable,
Uh-huh.
and and science can be complex, but
Yeah.
it's about making things simple. And that's why I use a little bit of analogies that I learned over the way, that if I compare what I know to
Hmm.
everything, everyday items or products or situations that I give to you, then you can paint a picture in someone's mind. And that's how I feel like you can educate people. It's just painting the picture.
Exactly. Good, good. So what is your vision behind this industry that you're into? Where do you see it going? At
Well,
the moment, it's starting to be commercialized now, isn't it? But where do you? But it's
mm,
something quite new, is it?
yeah,
Or
it is. I mean, it's both new and old. It's like
Mhm.
imagine like something old coming back. It's almost like
Okay.
the you would say the vinyl. If you have the vinyl, it
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
be like
yeah.
old school, and
Mhm.
everybody was in the iPods or whatever, and then now it's cool.
Yeah.
So hemp is the same thing. It's been here for like 10,000, 20,000 millions of years. Some people say that, some of my colleagues in doing the hemp genetics and hemp research right now, they're dating it back all the way to somewhere in the Himalayas, up in the mountains, all the way there. So there's a lot of history behind the plant, and it ties up with a number of situations, like some fun facts for you, maybe. I think George W. Bush Sr., George
Mhm.
W. Bush Jr.'s, the father, the president. He jumped off a plane in World War One using hemp parachute while wearing
Mm.
hemp shoes. And then, the U.S. Army and a few other, uh, you know, even wars during, the Elizabethan era, they used to grow hemp as well. in the UK
Hmm.
especially, because it was made law. If you own land and you didn't grow if your 30% of your land was not grown for hemp, you will be charged £5, which is, I don't know how much is the equivalent of it today, which is
Hmm.
probably 500 or £5,000 if you don't grow hemp,
Okay.
because they need it for fiber and they use it for paper and they use it for their canvases and for sailing. So a few stuff like that. So it's an essential material for the war effort. So and it was and that's what was needed, and the clothes as well. So it's um, it's the Declaration of Independence. The draft of it was made from hemp paper. The first Bible was printed on hemp paper as well, the Gutenberg Bible. So it's like a few. Henry Ford, one of the Henry Ford's first cars, was built using hemp plastic, and it was known to be up 10 times stronger than steel and 4 times lighter. 6 times
Wow.
stronger than carbon fiber and 3 times lighter. So it was like crazy, you know, it was crazy. And the more you get into this, the more you realize that some of the most recent cars, like the Toyotas,
Hmm.
and the interior car door panels is actually made from hemp. They don't say it's made from hemp. They just use the word natural polymers. So they even
Is
don't
it?
use the
Okay.
word hemp. So there's a lot of like secret things behind the scenes that they use hemp for. But I mean, the tobacco industry is the best one. If you're smoking a cigarette, a lot of these tobacco companies actually grew hemp because the roots go so deep that
Hmm.
once you grow that out, you grow another crop on top of that afterwards, because it only takes 3 months to grow,
Hmm.
and it actually helps the plant grow even bigger because they reach more nutrients, and also hemp rejuvenates the soil as well, so that it adds more nutrients to anything that's growing underneath there. So it's basically like a super crop, as they say.
So it's been around for many years, many years, but
Millions, millions, yeah.
people are not just aware of it. Like can you imagine just like those leaves can actually be transformed into a lot of things, right? So it's like
No,
you got
it's all
your.
parts of the plant. All parts of the plant. So imagine, Jeremy, like imagine you're a farmer, right?
Mhm.
Let's say traditionally you grow a corn or a what do you call this? A wheat, you know, rapeseed. You
Mhm.
only cut that crop down, and then that's it. That's like your one source of income,
Yeah.
right? Because you're selling it to a certain use. Hemp has almost 5 times that. So imagine if you grow a hemp plant. The leaves you can squeeze out for the CBD, which is, I'll come back
Mhm.
to that
Mhm.
later, the CBD, for supplements
Yep.
or for food. The seeds, you can turn it into oil, protein, or oil proteins, or uh, just like seeds for cooking, basically, just for food. And then the same material also used for biofuel as well.
Mhm.
So the thing that you're eating can also be fuel in your car, which is poof. The body of the plant, and then which is we call as the fibers. There's short fibers and long fibers. And imagine the skin of the plant. That fiber is then produced for like plastic, paper, and clothes. So I would actually show you one of my. I don't know if I can show you below
Yeah,
here.
sure. Why not? Yep.
This thing here is a hemp mat. So this comes from the fiber of the plant. So as you can see.
Wow.
So, it's a very strong and beautiful material. It's like all natural, but it's basically that, and the skin is can be turned into that. The next one is the core of the plant, which is the shiv. So imagine the center part of the plant, just what you see
Mhm.
my camera.
Yep.
It's moving around for a bit. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Ooh, whoa. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so then you have the hemp shivs, which is the core of the plant, and that's the one I was talking about, the construction. And then even the roots. The roots as well is amazing. If you have to mix the roots with maybe some salt or whatever, it's such an amazing antioxidant. So, imagine if you're a farmer, you can sell the leaves, you can sell the seeds, You can sell the skin or the fiber. You can sell the core, and you can sell the roots. So imagine for one crop, you could potentially grow 5 times the amount.
Wow, it's a great business, right?
It's crazy.
It's like,
So, if you're a farmer doing this stuff, it's like amazing, especially if you have the full chain ready. So, and this is why it's such an interesting field, and everybody's starting to open up to it. And
my
that's
mind is
why.
starting not to open about it. The way you're talking.
Well, you don't get the title if you don't earn the title.
Exactly. Yeah. Kirk, you studied law and business, right? But
Yeah.
you're also most of. Do you mind me asking you how old are you now?
Well, I'm 26, turning 27.
Wow, 20, very young, man. You look very. I knew you're about that age, but you know, people at your age,
Mm.
they dream of like working in a huge company, uh, they would like to have like very top positions in a corporate world, but you're doing a different thing. You're like building a company after company at your very young age. So what is your perspective about that one? Because you studied law and business, right? But you have a different type of mindset.
Mm.
Tell us more about your perspective about that one. That
Well,
most people,
to some extent, like how do I become an entrepreneur, basically,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I mean, it was literally like university. I started
Mhm.
partying every single night, like that. And one day, I think I went out on a horrible date,
Ah,
and I spent a lot of money on the date, and then suddenly um, I wasn't being respected, right? And to some extent, I said, if I'm gonna spend that money on someone else, why don't I spend that on myself? So,
mm,
invest in myself, maybe learn something. So, over the years, I said, you know, my biggest dream in life was to become a serial entrepreneur, like a
mm,
global serial entrepreneur, like having multiple business here and there, and and understanding like what it takes to even build one, rather than to run one. You see,
mhm.
you can be a manager, you know, running, let's say, the business, but
Yeah.
you can also own it as well. So it's it's just different. So some people want to be a nurse, some people want to be a doctor,
Mhm.
you know, but somebody wants to own a hospital.
Exactly.
So that's basically where I'm at. I said, look, it's not about like who's better or who's nicer. And I said
Mhm.
to myself, like, if I want to become the owner of the hospital,
Mhm.
that's my goal. What does it have to be? What does it take to get to that point? You know? So, I mean, if you want to be a lawyer, who's the best person to ask? People say, "Oh, you talk to your professor." I
Yep.
said, "No. Why would you ask your professor? He's not a lawyer. If you want to
Mhm.
become a lawyer, talk to a lawyer. You want to be a doctor, talk to a doctor. Want to be a millionaire, talk to a millionaire. Want to be a billionaire, talk to a billionaire." So if you basically talk to people who are already where you want to, be, and take the best bits and the worst bits, and come up with your own middle ground and coming up with that central point of view. So when I wanted to start my own business after that horrible date, I said, my first company, like I was saying, VITASPHERE, that was actually the name of my first company.
Mhm.
It was coming up with a social media for university, and also like an advertising sort of trade for business to business or business to consumer. So like coming up with like a bulletin board online. So those ideas failed, and early on I started learning that you need some money just to get stuff going, and the people that you hire shouldn't be your friends. So
Okay.
if
Yeah.
you're friends, like no, and it's even worse if you're in a relationship, starting the business. So literally, I said, look, uh, you know, I started a business and then I failed. I spoke to a lot of successful entrepreneurs and went to see their talks, asked them, you know, directly on what does it take to succeed. And I asked them, I didn't ask them for money. I asked them
Mhm.
for advice. And that's
Wow.
basically what I done. If you want money, ask for advice. If you want advice, they'll give you money. So it's
Wow.
basically, it's like the opposite way of your learning at the school. I mean, people said, oh, you study this, but it doesn't define you. Like, I could study art and still end up as an entrepreneur. I can study law, but I'm not saying that everything I learned in law school was useful, A portion of it is. So I said, like, I don't want to be a lawyer. I want to think like one. I don't want to be a billionaire, but I want to think like one. Because thinking and the perspective that you learn, if your mindset is the same mindset as they are, then you will end up the same way as they are. Because anybody can be a millionaire. You can make £1 million tomorrow. But how do you handle that £1 million? Because there's some people who basically win the lottery, make them a millionaire, and then they're actually become more broke when they started
Exactly. Yeah.
because they don't know what to do with the money
How to
or
handle
the
it.
responsibility, how to handle it. It's like, yeah, I'll buy a business. You don't know how to run a business, but I'll buy it. Okay, I'll buy this car, I'll buy this house, and then you keep spending every month. So I just don't see the logic of it. So I said, look, if you want to invest, the number one investment you can make in your life is yourself. So that's basically it. So, I just put my path on that. Invest in yourself and invest in your own happiness and invest in what you love to do. Because that's how
Wow.
you attract people in your life.
The Hemp Prince dropping some golden nuggets and bombs right now. So looking back at it, so thanks to that date that went horribly wrong. Otherwise, you won't be like this now.
Well, this
Things
could be
happen for a reason,
multiple
right?
things. But I
Let's
think
talk
it's just
about.
learning.
Yep.
Yep. Yes,
Let's
sir.
talk about AMBERSTALK.
Sure, sure.
You're the co-founder and CEO of the company. This is the company that you obviously own yourself, right?
So yeah, so AMBERSTALK basically like came from, like I was saying, I was going to come up with ideas that you can make like hemp from, so we have some hemp seeds. It's a bit
Wow.
bright. I don't know if you can see
Mm-hmm.
camera. Some hemp
Yep.
seeds that you can use for snacks. You got your hemp proteins that you can use for cooking
Mm-hmm.
or for baking. This has 63% protein. So imagine chicken, beef, or pork only has 20%. This one has 3 times more, and it's
Wow.
plant-based. So yeah, and I said like I wanted to come up with a business that started to do with hemp, and what I did was I started. I don't know. It was just out of luck or out of like perspective. I said I'm gonna choose this person, and this person, and they're gonna work in the business with me. They're not my friends, but they're close enough to be acquaintances because we know each other by name. So one of them was the guy who joined me with the competition, with the building competition. Another one was also part of that competition, and then and then another one is a close friend of mine. So going back to the competition, we out of 35 teams globally, we hit second place. We only lost because the other team had the same idea, but they had a better
Okay.
graphic the better graphic designer. So we lost our graphic designer.
To be
But we said
graduate.
like, they're not gonna take this as a business. So maybe I can, maybe we'll, they're gonna. The thing is, people win competitions, but they don't end up pursuing whatever they were pursuing in the beginning. They don't continue. I love consistency, so literally I did the business from there in the university, and then went straight into it, dived into it. So we were literally like 4 guys in a living room eating chocolate cake and KFC, and said, guys, let's come up with an idea. Educate the world that there's another way. There's another way, and that's how it started. So we just said like, look, we have to find ways to make hemp more educational, a bit more known, and create products that people love, and people love and people need, so that they can come back again. And that takes, it's just like the same thing with Apple. You create phones, you create service that people love, and people will come invest in you as
Keep
well.
coming back. Yeah.
So stuff like that. So that's how it went out. So over the years, I think it's like 2017 early, yeah, and then we started trying and failing. Went into farming, and learned every part of it, from growing to producing it into a final product. And I mean, like one of your favorite products, Jeremy, like I think you were talking about this one right here.
Yes, that bag. I saw that one.
The
The magic
the
bag.
famous hemp suitcase. And people love
Suitcase.
this stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can see the fiber from the hemp plants, the skin that I was talking about earlier. You can actually break this down, and then you can talk about that CBD thing I was telling you about earlier. But biodegradable suitcase right here, guys. So we got this limited edition in a way, but um, I love walking into this because you go to a business meeting, you drop this there, you open it up, and then you have your hemp products. Back in the day, when you open up a suitcase, it's filled with weed, and this is now filled with hemp. So this is like my 21st century take on that stuff. So, you know, it was yeah, I just walk around with that stuff. It's so good.
So where do you see this industry going in the next 5 years? You think it's going to be more
It's gonna
commercialized,
be
more people will be?
it's gonna be normalized to every day. I would say it'll start with um, being integrated, but not fully involved. So how do I mean by that? So let's say maybe some clothes in fashion are gonna be, let's
Mhm,
say, 10%, 50% hemp, 30% cotton, something like that. Some people will say food.
mhm,
Let's say instead of eating meat, I was just gonna eat hemp because it's high in protein.
mhm.
Or like the oils are also very good in omega 3, omega 6. So a lot of people like in Asia, omega 3, omega 6 is known for like the helping with the joints and stuff like
Yep.
that. So hemp
Heart.
is very
Yeah.
high heart
Yeah.
circulations. So hemp has up to 6 times more than fish oil. So
So it's
super
slowly it's
healthy,
being introduced and people are getting more aware of it.
becoming normalized. So I think it will be normalized in the next 5 years once they start legalizing it slowly. It's already legal in the U.S. to grow and to distribute, and
Oh,
that's the
okay.
reason why as well. Like uh, a lot of farmers are moving into hemp. I think there's like 200,000 acres or something like that being grown of hemp this year. One
Wow.
acre is, imagine, the size of a football field. So imagine 200,000 of that. So just
So
for
it's
hemp.
only legal in the US, not here in
It's
UK yet.
No, it's legal in the UK. So we also
Okay.
have a partnership farm in Chipping Norton.
Oh, okay.
So they're growing actually about 40 acres right now. We
Mm-hmm.
also have partners in different businesses. So they grow it in Oxford, they grow it in South. I think there's about 20 to 30 different farms growing it
Hmm.
this year. So hemp has always been legal to grow since 1993
Okay.
because at that, the law basically says low THC hemp. Hemp is illegal, marijuana is not. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
the, the
I think this
reason
is
it's
what
not as bad.
confuses people. Even me, I get confused about that. So that's why I invited you because I want to know more about this one.
Well, the more people know about it, the more you're gonna grow into the idea that, oh my gosh, this is more than just an incredible plant. There's incredible history, and then there's an incredible future as well. So the thing that I was telling people is like, think about this, put this as a food for thought in your brain. What if you can change the world just by eating, just by using sustainable materials, just by using sustainable foods? So basically, that's how I see it. You're using materials, but they're also sustainable, and
Very
you're
important
basically
for the
saving the
environment.
world doing nothing. Saving the world doing nothing.
It must be really challenging for you to talk about all these things because obviously there's a there's when you say hemp, there's already something attached to it, which is people
Stigma, yeah.
are
Stigma.
yeah, yeah. It must be a
But
challenge
it's
for the
gonna be
world.
fun.
What are the
Yeah,
challenges that you face in promoting this one or educating people?
I mean, it's literally number one. The first one is the claims.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes back to I was saying about the CBD. So
Yeah.
CBD is a
Hmm.
popular term right now for cannabidol, which is the opposite to THC. So THC is
Oh,
the one that gets you high.
yep.
CBD is the
Psychoactive
one
one.
that
Yep.
calms you down.
Mhm.
It calms you down. So it's
Oh, okay.
non-psycho. It's psycho. It's not. It's There's a difference between psychoactive and psychotropic. So always put a fine
Wow.
line between. Psychoactive means it affects the brain.
Mhm.
Psychotropic basically messes it up in a way that you can't control. you know, just like alcohol, blah blah blah. But
Mhm.
CBD is like the one that calms it down. So if you see in the movies people smoking weed, the one they look chilled,
Mhm.
CBD is that chill, and the one that gets them with the effects in the head, that's the THC.
THC.
So. But the thing with the CBD is, I was working in with one of the biggest CBD companies in the world called Elixinol. They're like, I think, one of the top 3 brands. Super amazing products, right? One drop under the tongue, and it goes through your bloodstream into the brain, and from the brain all throughout to the body. So some people, have experience in different ways. So I had one customer, for example, they were, they're from the gym, they're famous karate professional. He was coming in just Westfield Mall looking for like, oh yeah, I heard about CBD. It's really good for like the muscle pain or maybe for your joint, and then, he basically now uses the creams and puts it in his joints for like the muscle pains. He takes the oils for helping recovery, so it's good for recovery as well. That for, that, I mean, so, and some people then also find that, let's say some people have a, you know there was a lady one time was coming in front of our store, and she was like having a seizure. From one of my colleagues said basically they gave her like some CBD. And when she was standing there, and like her eyes straight to the well, like you can see her eyes are apparently like shaking, and you take the CBD, and then it just calmed her down within 5 to 10 minutes, within 5 to 10 seconds, really, which is crazy. So think about this. So if it helps with epilepsy, and it helps with me in the gym, is it a medicine or is it a supplement? And that's where the issue lies, because it works both ways. Some women use it for their menstrual cycles, helps balance the menstrual cycle. If you're having stomach pains and stuff like that, it's amazing for an anti-inflammatory. So my grandma uses it for, she, for walking up the stairs for the joints and stuff. She drinks hemp tea, for example, from the
Wow.
leaves. It's turned into tea. So I honestly think that there's a lot of uses, and the challenges for it really is, again, the first one was educating people on, where does it stand? Like, should it be legal? Should it be not legal? And if it is, how do we separate it from the high THC cannabis culture? So how, or you put it to blend it together. Nobody's ever died from marijuana anyway, so why should it be banned? If you think about it. So it's just like a lot of propaganda involved with it. And the next one is obviously the early stages of the unknown industry. So no investors want to invest on something they've never seen a track record of.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So why should you put money in on something that's never been done before or is upscaled in a certain time before? So, at some point in the next 5 years, I would say like there's enough precedents. There's a lot of, they're going to be like successful and unsuccessful companies, but the successful ones will provide us the blueprint in order to expand. So that's, I think that's how it's, but until then, we're still a couple of years away. And it's the same thing with the laws. The legality of hemp right now, it's only legal to grow if you have a license. So if you have a license, oh, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes. I can hear you. Yeah.
So yeah, and that's the reason why I think that I think the challenges, yeah. So the first one is education, basic stuff. Next one is like having the business knowledge to actually expand it. The final one would have to be testing. So yeah.
I've seen it used as well, because I've seen it once used in as a medicine. We have a multiple sclerosis patient, and that's one of his medications, actually a spray, and we keep it in our controlled drugs cupboard. But it's a spray, so we have to, two nurses would check it, and then we have to spray it under the tongue.
Yes, no.
I was even
Yeah,
tempted
no,
to
it's
spray one
like
for myself.
I again, it's there's a lot of number of stuff like Epidiolex and a few other medicines right now that is based off of the hemp plant, because there's no THC, so it's easier to get it through the FDA, NHS approvals and all that stuff.
Very
So there are
challenging, I
some,
can see.
and that's the issue we have, because imagine if you can't use if you stop using paracetamol or ibuprofen, imagine the billions that the pharmaceutical industry is going to lose. So, and because like if CBD can do all that, it's also amazing for sleep. So
Mhm.
you don't need your you don't need like sleeping pills anymore. Stress is number one thing, so it also helps you with the de-stressing. So
Wow.
it's like, oh my God. So there's a number of things that it can do, and it kind of challenges current industries, like paper, plastic, food, construction,
Mhm.
clothing, batteries, even like hemp batteries.
Yeah.
So
Because CBD can hemp can use or can be used in all these things. I was
yes,
just researching it and googling it earlier, so at least I have an idea when I interview.
no, but like
So
that's
there are
the
a lot of
opportunity.
uses.
But like,
It's like endless opportunities that you can use
mm,
with the hemp.
no, but I think really the biggest thing that we will all have to face is that I think it's the same thing that attracts everybody in this industry is that it not only provides you with business opportunities, but it creates jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And it at the same time it produces products that are better than what's already in the market today.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, it's also sustainable because it only takes 3 months to grow. It does not need pesticides, herbicides, or even
Mm-hmm.
water to grow. It's it has like thousands of uses. Absorbs up to what 15 to 20 tons of CO2 per acre. So imagine like being to clean up the air, and it has an ability called phytoremediation to clean up the soil as well. So imagine that you're cleaning the air, cleaning the soil, making all these products, making more money, creating jobs.
Hemp is
It's
amazing.
a it's a utopia of um, endless possibilities. So imagine growing in the Philippines with all the debt that's going on right now. Why don't we create? Why don't this is the perfect country for growing? It has the perfect nutrients for growing natural products. So imagine all exporting this to other countries. So business opportunities and stuff like that is there for, yeah. any
So how
any
this
countries are,
during this lockdown and pandemic has your business been affected?
yeah, no, it's grown massively to the point that we started introducing new products like the hemp face mask.
Exactly.
I'll
Yeah.
show you actually. So
Promote
we
your
have
face
a
mask.
yeah, so we got like a nice hemp face mask, for here. This is a sugar cane plastic, by the way. Sugar cane,
Sugar
which is
cane.
biodegradable
Wow.
plastic. Biodegradable plastic, and then the face mask as well. Like that, made from 40% hemp, 60% cotton. So I was saying, like, look, if we're gonna be putting stuff on our faces, it might as well be something sustainable. Because a lot of the mask today is made from oil, and like it's like putting a plastic bag on your face.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's most of the masks are made up of non-biodegradable materials, most of them,
it's
isn't it?
polypropylene,
Yeah.
polypropylene, which is the same materials you use for bottles and Tesco bags, whatever.
Wow.
So yes, it's gonna protect you, but at the same time, imagine throwing that away in the ocean or the bin. It's never gonna biodegrade. So this year, all that piles of face mask or whatever is gonna be up in the mountain. It's never gonna go away. So it's sad. So we're just giving an option to people like something non-medical, but helps protect the face. And that's where we are. So we started doing like face mask. We got some hand sanitizers. We got some hemp
So
seeds like for your food and
where can we buy
proteins.
that one? Where can we buy that one? Can we buy
Just
that
go
on
to
stock
yeah,
online?
just come by amberstalk.com. We always of course to open 24/7 because it's online, and we ship all over the UK, so and also in Europe. So if you just go to
Wow.
amberstock.com, we got some amazing products there, and we're about to release as well our new hemp oils. One is for salads, the other one's for cooking, and then we're also going to be launching our hemp milk, that your homemade hemp milk kit as well. So we're going to be coming up with new things.
So I'm just curious about your routine every day. You know, you're a CEO, you do a lot of things. So you must be very disciplined with your time and everything. So tell us first thing in the morning, what do you do until you sleep at night? What sort of routines do you do? How do you
I mean,
play with your
now
time?
Honestly, now I've just been. It's about energy management.
Right.
Like because you use a lot of energy just to do things, and there's not a lot of time. So I wake up like 4 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
because I have this new business, which is the VITASPHERE, focusing on international trade for PPEs and nitrile gloves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the clients that we have is international, so it's just halfway around the world. So I have to go and try to what do you call this? Be on call all the time. Actually, I'm on the phone. I brush my
Yeah.
teeth in the morning, and then after that, maybe while I'm having breakfast, I'm still on call. So every single moment of the day, I've just been on call, on the phone, always like hustling, always like finding opportunities, closing some deals, and then yeah, and then I'm thankful enough because I have a bit of a team here. So like if we have an order coming in online, then we have somebody else basically dedicated for that because I have a small team working around me. Like this house is actually like a company house. So we managed to build the business big enough to the point that we're actually renting our own house to even have a storage area and etc. etc. So the startup dream has been growing.
You said earlier, I asked you to choose. Is it your dream or your career? You choose career.
I would
Now
choose a
it looks
career
like
because
it's really more
the
of a dream
career
than
will fuel
fulfilling
your
now.
dreams. Because
Sorry?
a dream, I don't have dreams, I have goals. You
Good,
know,
good.
because if you have, you can choose a dream. People dream when they're sleeping, but I'd rather, you know, I'd rather reach that dream while I'm awake. Well, not a dream, but it's like a destination. And my end goal, like I said, was just to be that phase when I'm a serial entrepreneur and of course push to that part where I have an imprint on the world where I leave a legacy. You know, people say that I'm still young, but like I'm just using that now as an advantage because
Mm-hmm.
what the number one tool I have is time,
Yeah.
and what I do with that time is more important than what you know what I achieve. Because I'd rather fail first, but get up faster, and then after that learn other skills. So it's transferable. Yeah.
Amazing. So what would you advise those people at your age? You're 27, 26. What
hmm
would you advise to people at your age?
Um, I would advise number one is to take the risk.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I was doing business and all that stuff, my parents also said like, oh, you should just finish university first. You should study here. You should do that. You know, I'd say just start something and fail as fast. When I met Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street,
Okay.
when
Wow.
I
Met
met
him.
him in person, yeah, like in one of his events, I asked him a question, because it was like a private signing group where they sign his book and then you can ask him a question a little bit. And he's like, I said, like, Jordan, I'm a young entrepreneur. I want to do business. How can I succeed? And he says to me, look, fail fast, fall fast, but get up faster. So that was the advice that he gave me. And I like took it to heart ever since because
Mm.
the more I failed, the more I learned. The more I learn, the more I can then utilize that. And knowledge is power, right? So I had no expertise in PPE, for example, but
Mm-hmm.
we've closed some deals. I've supplied governments with like protective equipment and hospitals. So I just learned on the job. Fail, then fail, and then succeed. But I would say like I failed so many times. I didn't lose money. I may have lost time, but I gained more in the long run because of the knowledge. So knowledge is the power, and applying that knowledge, you know, is probably like more powerful than the knowledge itself. So what you do with what you know, I think that's worth something.
Great. If you will go into a dinner, right,
Mm,
and you have the opportunity to have a dinner with one person, it could be
mm,
anybody. It could be
yeah.
celebrity or whoever you wanted. It could be dead or living. Who would it be? Who is that person that you're gonna be have dinner with? What would you ask him?
It will always be Steve Jobs.
Wow, Steve Jobs.
So Steve Jobs was my like my main idol, especially when I was in university because of the way he was thinking. He always thought about things in a very simple way. And that's what, just like Apple. Like, they want to make amazing products, but they want it simple for people to use. They wanted to turn the computer into an everyday appliance, just like I want to turn even hemp into an everyday commodity that people use every day. So, it's the same mentality, it's the same principles, and obviously there's business stuff in between. But the whole point is, like, it's about solving problems
Mm-hmm.
or adding a benefit or doing something different. What do you do? What can you do? There's a lot of hemp companies out there. Can we do
Mm-hmm.
something that's so that's why we went the other way, like, creating analogies, making some really good products that people love. You can buy it from somewhere else, but we can sell it to you in a way, educate to you in a way, so at least you know how to apply it, rather than to give you the recipe. We were with you even at home to just produce it, something like that. Like a little things that we can work towards. So yeah, I mean, I would advise people to fail fast, get up faster, and on number one and number two is literally you gotta invest in yourself. Like, whether it's just investing on you to feel good in clothes, or like buying a book, or paying a mentor who's already a success. It's like, look,
Mm-hmm.
I'll pay 20. If you get given £1 million right now, what's the first thing you're gonna buy? Most people buy a house, a car, a
Mm-hmm.
business, whatever. But they, but the number one thing that pays for that car, that pays for that business, that pays for that house is you. You're the one paying for this stuff. So why invest in something that's taking money out of your pocket when you can invest in yourself, because you're the money maker. So invest in you. Put that money in yourself, in your knowledge, in your skill, I would say do that. So invest in the money, invest in yourself. So that's number two. And number three, learn from the best and become greater. So yeah, stuff like that. When Steve Jobs was coming up with ideas for his products, he literally took inspiration from different other successful entrepreneurs. Like Picasso, or even like Da Vinci, and like the way that they thought, and he
Mm-hmm.
applied it to the products. And learn from the greats and become greater. And that's how he did. He learned from the best, and he improved whatever the best had and become even further. So that's why I
Wow.
look at it. So learn from the best, become greater. So yeah, those three things I would say. Easy.
Wow. The Hemp Prince, ladies and gentlemen. I've learned a lot in our conversation right now, and wow, I wish I could talk more to you. I
Well,
really
thanks for
enjoyed
having
it. I
me.
learned a lot. I'm 44-year-old, and I'm learning from a 27-year-old guy. Great one. So invite them on your AMBERSTALK and VITASPHERE.
Yes.
Tell them the website, especially the face mask and all those hand gels.
Sure. I mean, you can always message me directly if you'd like to. Again, I'm very approachable. Just message me on Facebook or Instagram as the Hemp Prince. You know, um, the new company I built is just literally on its legs right now. But I'm gonna be introducing more products, but I focus more on B2B. So if you have maybe hospitals, if you're nurses out there or whatever, that has contacts to different links for you know PPEs, then let me know. We have some very solid partners that we work with to supply to a number of businesses. So we're here to
Wow.
help. And then so the company is called VitaSphere. Vita meaning life, sphere meaning globe. So VitaSphere, life
Yeah.
globe. So that's where I came up with the name. And Amberstock was literally uh, the company that came up. One of my previous founders came up with Amberstock, and I came up with a story saying the amber comes from Jurassic Park. Like the in the first film they had that amber, the mosquito inside that amber, and they
Okay.
extracted DNA from that mosquito and turned into hundreds and thousands of dinosaurs. You know, so the amber represented really, you know, uh, impact, impact, and the stock represented sustainability and growth. So amber stock really means impact, sustainability, growth. So,
Wow.
that which then connects to everything that we do, which is like to simplify sustainable living. We're using hemp, but we're making it easy for you guys. Good products that are good for your health, and it's good for the environment. So that's what Amberstock's position is, like to produce products that are simple, just like apple, beautiful, taste good, and it's good for the environment, good for the planet, good for you.
Wow. I'm a fan of. I am converted now. I'm a fan of hemp now. I'm gonna start using hemp now. I'm gonna buy all the hemps.
That's
Wow.
amberstock.com, bro. Amberstock.com. We'll get you.
Amberstock and VITASPHERE. Let's just see who is online right now, and they might have some questions. Let's see. Mark Barton is watching. Caroni Dalida is watching. Verna Lu Marinas Bravo is watching. Sharina Cruz Caras, Cesar Saga, Vince Medina is watching. Roxanne Wong, Ray Charles Bernardo, thank you. John Versa, LC Gian, Lynn Clemente Dumlao, Hermel Ilagan, Sriman Andol, watching. Chris Jane CP Bilu, Louis Atienza, Alfred Carandang, Onat Matibay, Molly Walker, Arvin Burgos, Charity Inero, Emilita Balighot, Jingo Paras, Paul Torres, George Chinels, Joseph Betts, Anthony Tabiso Magotsi, Eugene Arcila, thank you for watching, Laarnic Cruz, Graham Fox, Anthony Tabiso Magotsi, Darmin Balarignon, yes, Mimi Mil is watching, Richelle Liboan Atender, and Lady Imelda is watching as well. Wow, thank you very much for staying with us. I'm surely we've learned a lot from you, Kirk, or the Hemp Prince. Follow him on Instagram, Hemp Prince, and of course Kirk Allen on Facebook, and visit amberstalk.com. Right. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Jared. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All the best. All the best. All the best to
Yes,
Amberstock
definitely.
and VITASPHERE, and hope to see you again soon.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Have a,
Thank you.
stay
Thank you.
safe.
You too. Stay
Much
safe.
love.
Thank you very much, Kirk. All the best.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a that was an amazing interview. I've learned a lot. Imagine learning from from a 27-year-old, and it's really fun talking to him and learning a lot. And I hope Germination's aim as well is to bring you value. And how do I measure that one? Of course, for us learning things here in Germination, because this is our hub for health, arts, and business. We've learned a lot from the Hemp Prince. And of course, I hope you had fun as well watching here every day at around 7 o'clock around this time. So PV is the new TV, I would say. So at this point, I would like to thank Hujo for the logo design and the computer problems, called Hudio. And of course, my mask. I have my mask too, my personalized one, though it's not hemp yet, but maybe it's gonna be hemp soon. I'm gonna have my hemp version of this from Ches Carbonita Cruz. That's my personalized mask. There you go. And of course, my gadget, my 2-minute selfie time, feel good, look good at the comfort of your own home in 2 minutes. My LumiSpa. I use this twice a day. And this is a deep cleansing and skin renewal device. And if you want one of these, just give me a shout. And of course, I'll never go without my vitamins. Pharmanex, maybe this is good to mix with the hemp vitamins as well. I never go without my vitamins because, as you know, our health is our first wealth. So make sure that you are taking some sort of supplements, because especially during these times of COVID, antioxidant levels, same as the hemp, we need that one to boost our immunity. And of course, I would like to thank, let's not forget Briley Care. Briley Care, I will be interviewing the owner of Briley Care on Sunday. Briley Care, the agency that truly, truly, truly cares. And of course, the t-shirt that I'm wearing, care of Caroni Dalida, or Scientist. Yeah, that's it. Germinator, letter J with a bit of a leaf there. And of course, Germination. There you go. So, thank you very much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. And usually, I finish with a song, but I've got a message from Facebook. uh, I had a message from Facebook, but anyway, let's do it anyway. It's I don't care. There you go. On the Bridgestone town is where I drew some blood. On the Bridgestone town, I could not get enough. On the Bridgestone town, forget about my love. On the Bridgestone town, I gave my life away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, no, no, no. Yeah, yeah. Love me, no, no. Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for watching JhermiNATION PV, our hub for health, arts, and business. PV is the new TV. So bye for now. Stay safe. Bless you all. Namaste. Thank you very much.